Okay, we're going to deal with loci today, and of course on here, giving us the first one, says place all of your skittles so that they are 4 centimetres away from point A. Now, I'm not going to use skittles, don't like them, we're going to use jelly tots instead. So the idea is we can arrange all of these so they are all 4 centimetres away, and you can see that, I mean, like it's like trying to wrangle cats, isn't it? It's impossible. So I'm going to show you how to do it properly. Okay. Effectively, if they're all going to be 4 centimetres away from point A, we need everything to be 4 centimetres away, which gives us a radius of 4 centimetres. So what I'm going to do, open up my compass, 0 to there, and open to the 4, and then I'm going to move that out of the way, place my point on point A, and then I can turn this. Now I'm going to try and turn this carefully, and what we can see there is I'm drawing a circle with a radius of 4 centimetres, and then that means all of my jelly tots, all the ones we want to use on there, you may notice they change throughout this video as I eat some of them. I'm going to add a couple of extras in, but they, on that circle, all of those jelly tots are now 4 centimetres away from the centre, roughly, okay? To be honest, that would have to be right on the edge of this outer circle, but there's the idea of it. Okay, so they are all 4 centimetres away. We can see that done nice and easy. Okay, let's clear those off. I'll try not to eat all of them. There goes one. So the second one, and we want these to be the same distance away from points B and C. Now, you might be able to see a faint outline of an angle there, okay? That's actually the next one. So ignore that for now. What we want is all of these to be the same distance. Now, if I put that one there, that's halfway in between, okay? But I can't, well, actually I could stack them, but that really doesn't work because they're going to fall off. So I can't have them all on that point. So I need them all. I need to find a way where they are all the same distance away from points B and C. Now, it just says the same distance. It doesn't give us a distance. And what we're going to do is what we call a perpendicular bisector. And if you've watched the other construction videos, you'll know what that means. But it means we're going to draw a line that is at right angles to B and C, and is also going to be perfectly in the middle between B and C, okay, without measuring. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to turn this round a little bit so B and C are straight away there. If I put my compass point on point C, and I'm going to open up the compass so it's about 2/3, 3/4 of the way, and I'm going to draw an arc from below to above, and then without changing the compass, the same distance, I'm going to now put the point on the other end, point B, and I'm going to draw the line again from below to above as I look at it. And what we know now is that this point here is the same distance from there to there as it is to there, and likewise there to there and there to there. So what we can do is we can draw a line through those points where the lines intersect, and that line is perfectly perpendicular to BC. So if we drew that line in there, tell you what, let's do that anyway. I'm just going to draw it in a different colour just so we can see that better angle there, okay? B and C, but we can see there, that is a right angle, and it's exactly halfway. So if I turn that back around now, take my jelly tots again, other sweets are available of course, I can now line them all up on there in a straight line. And the argument people have here is that if we look at this one, the lone green one in our line, and you say, well, that's further away than there as we look at it. And that's fine, because all it said that they are the same distance away from points B and C. And because it's on this line, that green is the same distance from B as it is to C. The red one is the same from B as it is to C. So every one of those on that line are an equal distance away from B and C. Okay? So, on to our third, which is the angle. And again, it says place your skittles so that they are the same distance away from the lines X and Y. Okay, so we want somewhere in the middle. It says as he brings all of those up again. There we go. And you can see how awkward that is. I mean, that's not a straight line for a start. We need that line. So again, referring back to what we did previous on the other video, angle bisector. This time, bisector means we're going to split it in half, and that, because it's an angle bisector, we are going to split this angle perfectly in half. So I'm going to start at the apex of the angle with my point, and I'm going to just draw an arc through both. And this tells me that this point from here to here is the same as from here to here. So we then, without changing the compass, I'm now going to move from where the arc crosses the bottom line, and I'm going to draw an arc across the mouth of the angle, and then I'm going to do exactly the same from this point here. So from where the arc crosses the other line, and again, where that line, where they cross, that is exactly halfway. So if I'm going to turn the page now just to make it easier for me to draw, and I'll change colour again. So that middle point to the middle of our angle, and if we look at that, that is exactly halfway between. Okay, so now coming back to these, take my jelly tots, I'm going to put those on there. Got to be honest, it's easy with the jelly tots. They've got flat base on them, so you can arrange them a bit easier. Okay, but again, it's that same idea. Every point, if I carry that on all the way down, and I can even be a little bit cheeky here and use the ruler to straighten them out. As we look, that is a straight line, and every one of those points is the same distance from X as it is to Y. So again, the red one here, the same distance from this line to this line, and there to there each time. Okay, so that's a loci. Get rid of those, and we're on to our fourth one, and they get a little bit more complicated now, because now we want 3 centimeters away from line DE. Now if I look at that, if I do that with a measure, and I go, well, that's 3 centimeters away, and we'll go to 6, that's 3 centimeters away. So if I do that, and I do my line of jelly tots here, we're going to find we've got a problem. Because if I do those like that, whilst these are 3 centimeters away from that line, I now look at those, and these end ones, they're more. They're greater than 3 centimeters. Okay, so we've got to be a bit smarter here. I should move those up and out of the way. And because it was 3 centimeters, we're actually going to use our compass again, set this to 3 centimeters, and from here I'm going to draw a semicircle. To be honest, it's more than a semicircle I'm going to do, but it gets you the idea. Okay, you see a slight difference in my line as the pencil moves in the compass, but it gets you the idea. Also, when you're doing these, if you are called upon to do them, your lines don't have to be brilliant. Okay, there can be a little bit of a wobble on the line, they'll accept that. Okay, now the reason I've done it slightly over is because now if I join those lines from the furthest points to there, you can see where the arc carries on, but that would be less than 3 centimeters. Same again, do the same with the top, the uppermost part of the arc, and I join those two up. And what we've got now is an oval or a lozenge shape. So if I now bring these back and I let them follow the curve as we come around, I'm going to spread these out a bit more because otherwise I'm going to need to get more. Okay, and we've got the same idea. We do that one. Say, well, let's just move those around a little bit and let's spread them out. Okay, so again, we can see they're all equal distance away from the line DE, because we know that line is 3 centimeters away, and then as we curve around, they're all 3 centimeters away as well. Okay, so we've ended up with an oval, a running track, a lozenge, whatever shape you want to call it. Same again, let's clear them off, and you can see the shape that they were after there. And we move on to the fifth one. Now we've got a rectangle, and they want 2 centimeters away from the yellow rectangle. And again, we can measure our 2 centimeters away, but of course we're going to have the same problem when we get to the corners. So I'm going to do exactly the same. I'm going to do 2 centimeter radius from each point of the corner, and I'm definitely going to overdraw them this time. Okay, each point, each corner, I'm going to carry on round, and as I say, overdraw slightly. Now the temptation is to tidy up your drawings, okay, but if we've got these here, and even if they are overdrawn, they're fine, because they count as the construction. Okay, so I'll bring that one up a little bit there so we can see that a little bit more clearly. I'm going to draw that one across. Now each of those arcs, they are 4 centimeters away from that point, but of course that bit of the arc, am I saying 2 centimeters, that is less than 2, okay, and that's because the arc curves in. So do the same as we did last time, where the straight line meets the 2 circles, line them up as best you can, and then we just draw our line across to there. Do the same on each one of them, each side, as we go through, and our last one on the bottom there. Okay, and again we can see we've got that oval. It's almost like a picture frame around it, isn't it? Okay, so I'm going to spread these out around. Same idea, it approaches, and we can see it taking shape. We can see the line already. We don't really need the switch by now. We know what we're looking at. Okay, so we can do that, and I'll do the last couple there just to fill in. Okay, and we can see again that all of them are equal distance away. They're all going to be 2 centimeters, because that line, the straight line, is 2 centimeters, and that arc has been drawn at 2 centimeters, so they're all 2 centimeters away. Okay, move them away again, and now we've got a compound shape, and again 2 centimeters. We're staying with that because it's easy. Now if I do the same, I'll go from each corner. I'll tell you what, we'll start top left and we'll carry on around. So I'm going to do the same again for each point. I'm going to draw the arc. Now some of you may have noticed I've missed out this one. Okay, I've missed out one of the corners, and it's because it's an inside corner. So if I marked it as this, okay, as we look at it, our shape is not going to be the same, is it? It's not 2 centimeters away the whole direction. Okay, now if I look at it there, just that middle spot is 2 centimeters away, but it's not the same as the rest. Okay, now I just need to carry on drawing that round. Give me some more there. Now, the issue you've got here is because that's an internal corner. The externals are easy to do. We just do that centimeter sweep. We can spread those off. Try not to knock the camera too much. So we can do those there. I'm going to turn it around now to do these, just to make it a bit easier for me. You get the idea. We can see the shape taking its form there. Okay. And then for this last bit, when we look at this, we've got some issues there, haven't we? Now we looked at that, we said 2 centimeters, but that was 2 centimeters on a diagonal, whereas what we're looking at here, when we draw our line down from there, in fact, let's do it this way. Okay, if I'm on a straight line from that point and I need it to be 2 centimeters away, we are joining from there to there, okay? And again, if I look at this, if I line that up, I've got 2 centimeters away, and I can draw that in there as well, okay? So that is my inside corner. So when we look at those, we shape those in each time away. And I know at some point, someone who's, you know, quite smart with these things, to be honest, I'm going to put most of these around the other side now, because we don't really need a great deal around here, because we can see what's going on, okay? Someone is going to say, but they're on the middle of the line, so that means they're not actually 2 centimeters away. I'm not worried about that. The idea is to get you into the idea of that. If I really wanted them to all to be, say, 2 centimeters away, I'd make them out right, bring them out to the edge, okay? And we can do it that way. The sweets are there just to give us the idea of what we're looking at, okay? Because we can see that there. All right, so far so good. So an external corner will be an arc, and an internal corner will meet at a point. That's the whole reason for doing this, okay? And our last one is number 7, and again 2 centimeters away, and we've got the same issue, although now we've got 2 of these corners. So I'm going to do the same. I'm going to draw an arc. I'm drawing it. I seem to be drawing these bigger and bigger each time, but you get the idea. Nearly moved. There we go. I'm going to do the same from all of these. As I say, if you overdraw the arc, that's fine. It would rather than be overdrawn than underdrawn and cause you trouble, okay? There's nothing to stop you doing full circles at this point, although that may cause a little bit of confusion as to where you're drawing in the lines each time, okay? So just try not to get my thumb caught there on the compass. There we go, all done. So same again, I'm going to do the easy ones, nice and easy. We've got that one there, because these are the externals, so we can work with those. And now, same idea as before. If I match my line to there, and I wanted 2 centimeters, so I'll mark off, I've got my 2 centimeters there. And if I do the same, turn that around, and I've got the line from there, I can see that's still 2 centimeters. So I've got up to there, and I'm going to do the same on that one, line it up, 2 centimeters. And you may look at mine and say, it's not exactly 2 centimeters. Well, that's fine, because there is always a little bit of leeway with the drawing like this. They will always give you a little bit of wriggle room, as we say. And that is basically what we're after. You can see that shape now. So the last outing for the sweets. Again, I'm going to keep it outside the line this time to keep the purists happy. And as we go around, we can see, I'm going to spread those out a little bit more because we really don't need that many down there. And we can see that every single one of those is 2 centimeters away from our shape. Okay, so that's loci. And if they're asking you for things like that, sometimes they'll mention it in terms of regions and stuff like that, but same approach to it. Okay, hope that helped. And you probably feel hungry now, so go and help yourself to some sweets.